Hi, welcome to The Writing Engineer. Today, I'm going to be doing a tag that I found from author Brittany Wang. It's called the Story Idea Tag, and I'll be referring to a document that I have the 10 questions on below. Okay, without further ado, here we go. Number 1. What is your current story idea that you're working on right now? The current series that I'm working on is called the Law series. It has 3 books. And the first book is Amara's Law. You may have heard me refer to it before. This story is in the final stages. I have one final edit, and I have to get the book cover, and then I can try and publish the book. But the interesting thing about this is where the story idea came from. It actually came to me in the shower. I was thinking about renewable energy and other things green, if you will, and the idea came to me that maybe someone could put little electric generators inside our bodies, on our arteries and veins, to use the motion produced by our heart to create energy. But that was a neat idea. What could you possibly do with it? Well, maybe power advanced prosthetics. Maybe use motors in the arms or the legs that could use the energy created by these little generators. Also a pretty cool idea, but not really a story. It wasn't until a couple days later that I realized that this person, with all these enhancements in them, could fight a genetic mutant. What more perfect conflict than advanced technology of the machine kind combating with advanced technology of the biological kind? Number 2. Do your ideas begin with characters, plot, world building, or something else entirely? My story ideas usually begin with, well, an idea. The first one started with renewable energy. I have another story that started with the idea of dream catchers. And yet a third story I have in the works that started with the idea of something that started playing around with the idea of something called the Bose-Einstein condensate. It's a little confusing and kind of theoretical at this point, but you should look it up. It's pretty cool. Number 3. How do you puzzle piece your story elements together? Do you start with the ending and make your way to the beginning, or vice versa? Well, for most of my stories, I usually figure out the ending first. I know with Amara's Law, I wanted to have a cataclysmic battle at the end between the antagonist and the protagonist. Well, I had to figure out how to get them from point A, which is the start, where my main character wakes up in a tunnel, to point B, which is the end, where she is battling a creature for control of the world. Number 4. How do you know when you want to keep or dump a story idea? So far, the story ideas that I've had for novels, I haven't had to toss them yet. They seem to come to me pretty well fleshed out, although there is one that I'm concerned of. It's the science fiction thriller novel that deals with the Bose-Einstein condensate. That's the least well-developed story idea that I have. But I'll probably figure out in the outlining process if I can't come up with a lot of material to get my character from the beginning to the end of the book. Number 5. How much of your original idea for your story is actually used once everything is finished? In the case of my first series, the Law series, a lot of my original idea is being used in the story. But for another book that I'm working on, dealing with dream catchers, that's only the way that my story starts. The rest of the story deals with something else completely different. The dream catchers only make an appearance in the first page or 2 of the story. For the rest of it, not so much, until the end where they become important again. Number 6. Do you share your book ideas with friends or keep them a secret? Well, I don't really share them much with my friends or colleagues, but I don't really keep them a secret. It just never comes up in conversation. I'm more than willing to talk to whomever will listen about my books and my story ideas, but typically the only people who are interested in those types of things are other writers. Number 7. Have any of your book ideas originated with a dream or nightmare? No. Number 8. Have you ever had an idea for a story, but then see a similar premise in a TV, book, or movie? I've run across a couple of my story elements in various television shows and books, but none that conform so much to the idea that I've had for my first novel that I'd be willing to toss it out. As far as I can tell, I haven't seen any other books like this, although if any of you have any ideas of books that sound like my first book, Amara's Law, please let me know in the comments below. Number 9. Have any of your favorite movies or TV shows sparked ideas for scenes in your book? Absolutely. One of my favorite directors is Joss Whedon, most well known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but he has several other shows, including Firefly, Angel, and The House in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods. I really love the way that he tells stories, and his ability to deal with gore and fight scenes is really something that I aspire to. So I have tried to use a lot of his type of techniques in telling my story in my books. Number 10. What's the oldest/first story idea you remember coming up with and writing down? Well, I didn't really start writing books until maybe 7 or 8 years ago. It was nothing I had really considered ever doing. Most of my life, I liked dealing with technology. I liked computers, I liked computer programming, I liked video games. But I did dabble with creative writing in high school. And the first story that I ever came up with was a story about an old man sitting on a bench, and he was just staring down at his knees, watching a little fuzzy caterpillar crawl across it, admiring the way it was being all cute and cuddly, until he smashed the crap out of it. So, even back then, I really liked the idea of spontaneous gore, even if it happened to be a caterpillar on some person's knee. I also liked the way I could shock people by taking an old man on a park bench on a sunny day looking at a caterpillar and turning it into something kinda horrific. Well, that's it for this tag, and any of you who are watching this, you may consider yourselves tagged for this one. Thank you very much to author Brittany Wang for the idea for this YouTube video. I will put a link to her channel below. If you like this video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out. If you'd like to be notified immediately when my videos become available, please click the notify button below. If you'd like to contact me or look at any of my works in progress, all of my contact information will be listed below. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.